Welcome back, Pokemon fans. Angel of the Night 091 here, coming at you with another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Now, as you guys know, we are into Regulation E. That is something that happened just not very long ago, actually. So we are going to start off the battle here. We actually got a Ninetales and a Baxcalibur. Now, we are up against a Dondozo and a Pelipper, and unfortunately for us, our snow is no longer a thing. So, we are going to be forced to swap out here. We got to go to our Rillaboom, and we are going to be going out to our Urshifu. Reason being is that without the snow, we aren't able to set up the Aura Veil, and then of course we aren't going to be able to get the boost for the Baxcalibur. So, we are going to swap out here. Now, one thing that I think is actually kind of crazy is the fact that Baxcalibur is banned in Smogon. Like, what? When did that become a thing? Good thing I play VGC. So here we go. We're swapping out our Baxcalibur. We're going to bring in that Urshifu. We're going to be able to play with Baxcalibur just in a little bit. But you know what? We are going to be rooting for the Rillaboom here. We want to go in and try to get some damage off onto this Dondozo. However, we should have known that Tatsugiri was going to make a guest appearance. In comes the Commander. And that is just going to boost up every stat of this Dondozo. Now, of course, that is nothing new. That is something that's been going on ever since Regulation A. Very, very common. You guys have seen it in Worlds. You've seen it in VGC tournaments. You guys have seen it on other channels. I don't play Dondozo Tatsugiri. I find it is a cheap way to play. I'm calling you Dondozo players out. Super cheap. So he's going to go in for the Terra change here. He's going to go in for Terra Fairy. Probably a smart decision. Because obviously my fighting type moves are no longer really going to be that effective onto that Dondozo. Not like they really were to begin with, but they probably would have been able to do a little bit of a stab versus just, our regular water moves. So we've got our Rillaboom out here. We are going to go in for the attack. We're going to go for the fake out here. I'm pretty sure fake out is what we were choosing. And we are just going to wait for our opponent here to decide what they decide to do. Now, one thing I have to take into consideration is that there is a Pelipper in the back. A lot of the times, Pelipper, it's usually just there to take the weather change and as well to set up the Tailwind. So those are usually the only two things that Pelipper is really good for in this situation. We're going to go in for the Surging Strikes here. We're going to try to get that boost from the rain. And with the fake out, of course, the Dondozo is not going to be able to attack this turn. So next turn, if it is faster than us, then he should be able to outspeed us and do some damage. However, I do have Grassy Glide onto the Rillaboom. So that's definitely something that could come into play or come in handy at the same time. So let's see what we're going to decide to do here. Exactly what I said. We're going to go for the Grassy Glide, and then of course we're going to go for the Surging Strikes. So Grassy Glide is actually a priority type move. Of course, it didn't really do a whole lot of damage here. However, it allowed us to basically do one Surging Strikes, finishing off this Dondozo. Now, the funny thing is that the Tatsugiri is actually still a thing. So Tatsugiri comes back onto the field, and he's like, "Hey guys, don't eat me. I'm a little sushi mon." I don't know if anybody actually eats sushi that watches the channel. If you do, post your comments. I'd like to know what you guys think. I can't eat sushi, of course, because of shellfish. But Basculegion. Okay, Basculegion is out onto the field here. Now it is a water type and a ghost type Pokemon. We're actually going to go for the Grassy Glide, I believe. And we're going to go in for the close combat onto the Tatsugiri. We want to try to get some damage off onto him as much as possible. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty much sure that Tatsugiri is more of a frail Pokemon. I don't think it can really survive any massive blows to it. But then again, I also don't know what the effort values or the natures are of these Pokemon. So most likely, it's probably going to go down pretty quick. Here's the Grassy Glide into the Basculegion, taking it down right into the red zone. And that's a huge play there because, quite frankly, you do not want to get hit by last respects from this Basculegion. You just don't want to get destroyed by it. So, here it goes. He's going to go for the Phantom Force. He's going to disappear, and he's going to make a play in the next round. Now, we do go for the close combat. Tatsugiri is gone. That's fantastic. I just realized my name on my scoreboard is spelled incorrectly. I apologize for that. I will fix that for another match. Urshifu, of course, getting a little bit of health back. Same thing with the Rillaboom. due to the grassy terrain. Now, Pelipper comes back onto the field, and this is exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm thinking we're probably going to have to do some damage off onto the Pelipper. I'm thinking maybe a drum beating. I don't think Grassy Glide can do much to this Pelipper here, but we'll see. We're going to try this drum beating off onto Pelipper. It is the signature move of Rillaboom, and it should also be able to get some stab damage, which is going to be pretty massive. Here's the Detect on the Urshifu. Now, I put Detect onto the Urshifu without thinking, you know what, I should probably have Protect. In the future, guys, I actually did swap this out. We put Protect onto the Urshifu instead of the Detect, and that makes a big difference, Here is the drum beating. We actually lower the speed of the Pelipper, and the funny thing is that it actually does survive. Now, I'm pretty sure that's due to the flying typing, but the fact that we did that much damage is pretty good. We actually survive a hit, I believe, from the Hurricane, which is actually pretty fantastic considering we're in rain. It's basically going to be 100% guaranteed that Hurricane's going to hit in the rain. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to swap into the Ninetales. Now, of course, you guys know Ninetales has the Freeze Dry. This should be super effective onto any kind of water-type Pokemon that's actually available onto the field. So we're going to go and do some damage off onto the Basculegion. And in this situation here, I actually decided to go with a Moonblast. Now, I mean, I could have gone for the Freeze Dry. Moonblast is going to do more damage. And I think that's the reason why I chose it at the time. I wanted to make sure that I got this Pelipper taken out because I don't want to play around with it anymore. I'm going to be honest. So the Basculegion actually ends up going for the Protect here, being able to withstand any kind of an attack off from my Rillaboom. And of course, you know, the next turn, I'm just going to go for the Grassy Glide anyways. Unless he has some sort of a priority move here that's going to be able to knock me out, there's really nothing that this thing's going to be able to do to this team. Especially with the fact that I've got Baxcalibur still sitting in the background. The only thing I can think of is maybe he's going to go for, like, Last Respects. And really and truly, I don't think he's going to live a Grassy Glide to begin with. So this is probably going to be the end of the battle here. But if you guys are enjoying the battles, be sure to give a thumbs up and post your comments. I'm trying a couple of different editing styles. I'm trying a couple of different positions with my cameras. This time I'm using my Elgato 1080p camera. And of course, I've repositioned the entire desk. Let me know what you guys think. Is this better than before, or is it about the same? All right, there we go. We actually ended up getting the damage off onto the Basculegion, and that is going to be able to finish off the battle versus Rafa91. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one, and as always, you know.